Hi everyone. I guess this is going to be my last video for this quarter, and one of the ideas that I hope you consider while we round out our time together thinking about interdisciplinary work is the idea that Jessica Maria Ross brought up, which is fruitful friction. I've come to see many of these projects and the issues that we've been dealing with from many new and provocative angles as you write your responses. And I see a kind of friction, a kind of debate that for me has been really very fruitful and has made me really reconsider some of the assumptions that I have about working in the digital space. I'm really excited about these questions that you're raising and how you've, over the course of this quarter, found a kind of digital critical relationship to technoculture or digital culture, whatever you think you want to call it. And reading a lot of your responses and your private essays when it comes to the readings, it's really interesting to me to see how you are grappling also with issues of what constitutes the truth, and also where are ethical boundaries that are already being transgressed and where we need to pull back from them. I hope that you're going to be able to spend some time with all three of the projects that we're looking at this week. At the same time, I'd like you to give just a little bit of special time to the Stillwater site, which also includes a blog. It includes many different kinds of projects from the University of Maine and the work of John Ippolito and Jolene Blaze. It's not so much that it itself is a project, the Stillwater site, but it's kind of an aggregation of interdisciplinary research that in what I think is a really interesting way, it meshes together digital culture, indigenous culture, and permaculture. And that's really one of the metaphors that I think many of us have been using throughout this term, which is the metaphor of the environment, of ecology, of rhizomes, of seeding, of how are roots taking place, how are we permeating various kinds of environments with digital culture, what's weaving, what's meshing. It's all really very interesting. One quote I picked off, I think it was Thought Mesh, what they were looking at is sustainable living through digital culture, or digital feedback rather. Sustainable living through digital feedback. And I think that's a really interesting and novel way to move away from ruminations on how the digital is really permeating our lives in ways that we may not totally understand or totally have time to understand. But I think that Stillwater offers a different alternative. Their research, their values, their imagination, all kind of points for me to an alternative future that is both networked and sustainable, and using digital tools as affordances in this process that I would say are very positive. While many of you have been provoked by and interrogating Charlie Gear's ideas, and we all realize that the world has changed even since 2008, it's been really an interesting opening to connect the traditional, the conventional digital present of technoculture. It's everything is always the same. It's new. It's happening right now, and it doesn't really have much of a history. But by looking at the way that he compares and puts together the social, the cultural, the technical, the economy, the environment, and a political reality, starts to bring us in really nicely to spreadable media's look at in their final chapters, new models, and how these models can, I think, really help you determine different ways that you could approach your work, and perhaps even give you ideas about ways to move forward that still embody your own values and your own ethics. And of course, we'll always leave with the one idea that still hasn't been totally understood, which was how we're all going to make a living off this space. So please read this blog. I'm going to put a few things in text about what we're going to do when we meet on December 7th, and what I hope that the group presentations will be like. So that's it for now, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving and a wonderful week. So we will be in touch after the holiday. Thank you and take care.